And I thought at first, oh, that's for me a bit weird, but then you start following everything and you go, ooh, and you actually, it's so, you can't, it's like a car accident. You don't want to watch, but you can't not.
Did you feel uncomfortable watching it, did you?
There were some parts where I was really like going, oh, Abigail, you're going too far, or you're going to get caught out. And then I realised she was like, I don't want, if you're going to watch this, don't continue listening what I'm about to say. At first you're thinking, oh, you want her to do well, and then you realise that she is a cow and... And you're just thinking, my gosh, these women, you want them to win, but then you don't because they're showing their true colours. But then you're going, well, gosh, look at that guy. And then you don't, at the end of it, you don't care for anyone. You're thinking they're all horrible.
That's really interesting. That's an interesting take on it.
We're someone who likes a Marvel film because, there's someone to root for and to care about and everything. In this film, you start caring about someone only to find out that they're out to screw everybody. And then you're caring about another person, then you go, oh, no, they've just screwed that person over. And
everybody's getting screwed in this film.
Yes, or screwing people or just trying to,
It puts me in two minds. It puts me in mind of a film called Dangerous Liaisons that came out in the 80s with, what's her name? No, I can't remember.
I was about to go do music.
Look, Dangerous Liaisons, people are going to yell at me, but I'm sorry, I just can't remember. I'll leave a pause. Glenn Close. And I would have inserted the names there. You like that?
Nice.
I'll go up later and find it and then put it back in that little pause.
Has that got that same thing where you try and like people, but
I've already
you don't?
done that before today so that I look like I know more than what I actually do.
I have noticed that. Yeah. That is so cruel.
I'm nowhere near as smart as I like to tell myself.
I don't remember people's names. Or, I can see them in my mind's eye, but unless I write it down, it's all over the shop.
Now,
did you like that aspect, or did you enjoy this film? And not just for the music, but just for the acting, for the storyline.
Well, putting Dangerous Liaisons to one side, which is essentially a courtier's film about everybody fucking over everybody else. This kind of I was in a very odd mood when I sat down to watch this. I was feeling somewhat distant and detached when I sat and watched this. And when the music started up at this, it encouraged that, and it took it to its ultimate level. And I sat there and I watched it almost from an anthropological viewpoint. And I'm sitting there watching this, and this is going to sound strange, but just bear with me for a moment, if you may. I was looking at it from a herd society. You know how I sometimes take everything and put it in terms of chimpanzees and try and analyse the behaviour. This is nothing more than grooming. In other words, you've got the alpha female, the queen, and she's sitting there, and then she's got two lesser females, the beta females, who they groom her, and in this case they give her sexual favours as well, sort of thing, in exchange for various different advantages for themselves. In the case of Lady Sarah, it was for support for her husband, Lord Marlborough, and ironically, I mean, she lost in the end because he came away looking like a complete twit at the end of it.
Which wasn't her fault.
No, it wasn't. And the other girl had won complete dominance by that stage of the game. But Queen Anne wasn't far from kicking the bucket from this stage of the game anyway.
You saw she had the stroke.
Yes. Can we talk about the actual performances? So that's kind of how I was viewing this whole thing, with having the Baroque music in the background. And I found it a very surreal experience watching the whole thing. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it twisted and turned like a snake in oil. It was really, really satisfying as a film for me, for my particular prejudices, because there's nothing better than watching people screwing people over. For my particular purposes, I like sitting there watching it, and it was done cleverly, and it was done with a genteel smile, and I like that. It
was done very neatly.
Very neatly. It can be something as simple as watching Dirty Rotten Bastards. It was that. What was the name of that movie that Michael Caine and
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin was in.
Is that? Oh, I don't
It
know.
wasn't Bastards, was it?
No, they wouldn't have used that
Scoundrels.
word.
Scoundrels.
Dirty
Yes,
Rotten
that's the one.
Scoundrels.
Dirty Rotten Bastards.
I know. I was about to say, they wouldn't have called it that.
That was the Australian version. Dirty Rotten Fuckheads. But anyway. So there was that. And, yeah, look, I just found it a thoroughly enjoyable film. Like, I got a great deal of satisfaction from watching this. Period dress was done immaculately. The grounds was done, obviously. They just said, we'll just have Hampton Court. Thank you very much.
I've been there.
Have you?
Yes.
No worries, Bruce. Honestly,
I got really excited.
You two are so much for one another. It's not funny.
Sorry, I'll shut up. It looked gorgeous.
It was. Yeah.
It was shot really well. And if you're into that sort of storyline,
History.
not even just that point of history, but that storyline. I don't think it looked. Yes, it had that. It was following history, but that particular storyline, you could pluck it out from anywhere. And it
Now,
wouldn't
you
be an
expected
issue.
me to give a whole big story, big history lecture at the start
No,
of this,
I
didn't you?
don't. I don't think. This,
I'm not going
it's
to.
not a history, as in it's a standalone story on its own.
It's about individual chimps and how they interact.
No, I didn't expect you to do that. I'm relying on you for the third movie.
Oh, yeah.
But we're not discussing. We're not discussing
I'm
that
not
now.
going to do too much of that either.
But for me, I could see how this film has been done really well and directed well and acted well. I think like all the women did a great job, and I mean Olivia Colman actually got the Academy Award for
From
best.
Cuban Fury.
Yes, she's from Cuban Fury.
That's right. I recognised her, and because like she's been in so many of my favourite films.
Oh, she's so great.
With Nick Frost and all the other boys. She did a terrific job. Emma Stone, I thought,
Her English accent was good.
I just assumed she was English. She's American, is she?
Yes,
There you go. Well done, her.
she was in La La Land.
I haven't seen it.
Haven't you?
No.
Okay.
Didn't make the grade, did it?
What do you mean by that?
Well, we didn't get to look at
it
all
hasn't been on our. I've seen it, but we haven't put it up yet.
Okay. Are we going to do that at some stage of the game?
I don't know. I don't know what's happening from week to week.
What about the podcast, though?
Thanks. I don't know what's happening week to week in the podcast, in my life. It's just all over.
I'm hearing
Don't
some
know.
crackles. I think my microphone might be on the way out. But anyway.
Oh, well, that's future Paul's problem, isn't it? When it actually fails.
Future Paul's credit card problem.
I'm sorry. I need to get this microphone fixed. What's wrong with it? I think it's on the way out. Is it actually broken, though? Not yet.
No.
Well, then we can't do anything about it until it's broken.
Thank you for that analysis.
Boom, boom.
Yes.
But no, and also, did you notice who played Sarah?
The other girl.
Yes.
She's the other girl. Don't know.
No. I mean, did you notice her from Enemy at the Gates?
Oh, Margaret Weiss.
Rachel.
Rachel, yeah, that's what I said. Rachel Weisz.
Yeah,
yes.
I was waiting for you to go, I knew her from that movie about
She didn't
Stalker.
look anything like her. And may I say that
She has, and she's in the Mummy.
to this
she's
day,
a great
that
actress.
is still the best sex scene of any movie I've ever
It's
seen.
the weirdest sex scene I've ever seen.
It's the best. It's the most honest, gritty, down in the sewers next to all the other Russian soldiers, bourbon and farting vodka. Fantastic.
But she is such a great actress. But all three of them did an excellent job. It was just, but that's what I mean. To me, it felt
That's
so
why
real
she
that I
looks
was
so
like,
familiar, because I love her.
you.
I knew I'd seen her from somewhere.
You look like someone I love, but I don't know who you are.
I've seen her from The Mummy, and I've seen her from all of my old favourites. Gee, she's held up well, hasn't she?
She is a very great actress.
Yes, I know, but she's a good-looking woman still to this day.
Oh yes, no, she does a great job, and she does a great.
She'd be older than me, isn't she?
I don't know how old she is.
Well, I'm 50.
Yeah, well,
And she was older than me when she was doing all those shots, when she was doing all those films when she was a young woman.
I don't know. I'm not saying anything about a woman's age. Not
Oh,
going
well, I will. I'll just blunder in where angels fear to tread.
But that's
She'd
what
be close.
But I don't know.
She'd be close to the half-ton. She'd have to be.
Why are we still talking about this?
I
It doesn't
just
matter. She
think
did
she's a strikingly handsome-looking woman.
She's an attractive woman. She is a great actress. The three of them did an excellent job. How's that?
I'm enjoying this. You're quite uncomfortable about this, aren't you?
Could you imagine if she heard it and went, why are they discussing my age? It's irrelevant. They should be talking about how wonderful I did.
Pip?
Yes?
I don't think she's listening.
Well, no, but just in case.
But in case, well done, Rachel. We love you.
Love you. But no, it's to me, even though I can appreciate what it was trying to do, I was constantly going and covering my eyes. I mean, there were parts where I laughed openly. And
Usually, that's weird because you know me, when it comes to social embarrassment, I'm the first one to flee for the door, marked exit. But I did not feel that at all.
Okay, there was parts here where I felt really uncomfortable.
No.
And it's not the sex scene sort of stuff.
No,
it was more like just how certain parts are going. And I'm thinking, oh no, oh my gosh, I feel,
Yep.
Don't do it.
Yep.
But that's just me. But I mean, there were parts that I laughed out loud because I just thought they were just so funny. And they were funny for the wrong sort of reasons. I was almost going to say it now, but then I thought if I say that out loud, it sounds awful.
Well, say it anyway.
Oh, I don't...
You know I like to hear you sounding awful.
I know, but then people out there might go, oh, Pip, that's not a great thing to laugh at.
No, they don't think you're a good person anyway. So just say it.
Do you know the part where, what was his name? Masham, who she ends up marrying, walks in all dressed up and she goes, so are you here to woo me or rape me? And he goes, I'm a gentleman. And she goes, oh, rape then. And she just flops down. I'm like, oh, gosh. And I laughed openly at that because I just thought it's so wrong, but it was so funny the way she just went, oh, rape, fine. But
funny because it's true.
he's like, no.
Yes, it's a bit... It's a bit of an off-colour joke, isn't it?
But the thing is, the emotions are so... You're either laughing or you're like, oh, gosh, this is awful.
I can't believe I laughed at that. Yes.
But there's such extreme emotional things happening in this film. So for me, who likes a nice, easy watch or... I don't mind thinking about stuff, but this one for me was a bit... It
was a bit raw in places, I agree. But it was fairly genteel through most of it, I thought.
And some parts like when... Anne is running through the halls and she takes the baby and I'm like, oh my gosh, this poor woman.
Oh, look, she played a nutter very well. And I told you from Cuban Fury, remember when we had the conversation about Cuban Fury with her, how I said that she doesn't get a chance very often to really let rip and she can play an extraordinarily forceful character if she wants to.
Yeah.
I present this as Exhibit A. She was superb in this.
She did so well.
She did. No longer can she be just considered just a comic. She is a bona fide actor as far as I'm concerned. She did an absolutely top-notch Anthony Hopkins British
but even when
acting job on this.
When she made just the comment about why there's 17 rabbits, the way she said it made me go, oh my gosh, that's awful, but she's still got the smile on her face. I'm thinking, no wonder she's not well.
She's not well because they did not have psychology in those days.
No.
And she's sliding down into the world of being a nutter in charge of an entire nation.
Oh, it was just so sad. They didn't just let you go, did they?
I liked how she dismissed the government. That was fun. I disagree with you, and you're all off, and we're taking these people now. Goodbye. That was it.
She did. Yeah, that's what I mean. Parts were just like hilarious, and then other parts made you go, "Oh, it's so extreme."
For me, it wasn't even like. Yeah, I know it was extreme, but it wasn't. I didn't like. Might be a thing on you in that you were feeling so uncomfortable for some of it because I didn't feel it was designed to be something that caused distress or discomfort. That movie.
There were parts where I was really uncomfortable. And most of them were when Abigail was trying to sleaze her way in.
Right, and you were waiting for the other shoe to drop.
I was waiting for her to get totally screwed over.
She won.
Well, except for that last scene. Put her in her spot. So
which one?
The very last scene.
What happened? No, well, I can't remember. We watched 3 movies this week.
Spoilers, everyone. And
it was like 2 weeks ago.
Don't listen to this bit if you plan on watching this, blah, 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 blah. That that last part where Anne's in the bed and Abigail's sitting there reading and she puts her foot on the rabbit.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Anne sees her with her foot on the rabbit, and the rabbit's